Hi guys, today we've come to Chirk Castle in Wales, just over the border, and this is a steep walk up to it, quite a steep walk. We're looking forward to seeing this castle because it's intact, isn't it, unlike many castles.
It's not been, it wasn't one that Cromwell completely destroyed.
No, it's been lived in for 700 years.
Certainly has.
It was started being built in 1295 and finished in 1310. We're about to go and see what we've got here. Apparently the interior is that Tudor interior?
Well, it's a multi-period interior.
Multi-period, yeah, all the way up to Victorian, isn't it?
Yeah, the interior's got everything across the ages because the owners who lived there were collectors, really.
Right, so we've got
So
multiple.
we'll find Civil War stuff.
Really? Oh yeah, because part of it was damaged during the Civil War, wasn't it? And it was rebuilt. So we'll go and have a look at what we've got. Building started in the 13th century of Chirk Castle, and it was never planned as a family home. Instead, it was one of the several medieval marcher fortresses along the Welsh-English border, built to keep the Welsh under English rule. Back in 1282, when the English King Edward I defeated the Welsh prince known as Llewellyn the Last, the grandson of Llewellyn the Great, he established the new marcher lordship of the Chirklands. The Chirklands were granted to Roger Mortimer in recognition of his service in King Edward's wars against the Welsh and Scottish, and he built Chirk Castle in the late 13th century. The overseeing architect, they think, was probably Master James of St George, an architect from the Savoy, who was much favoured by Edward I and who is credited with the work of many other castles, including Carnarvon, Harlech and Beaumaris. As well as suggested his master builder, the king may well have lent Roger the money to pay for the castle's construction. Constructed on a rocky escarpment, the castle's location was carefully chosen to maximise its defensive capabilities. It was a fortress so important that King Edward I paid a personal visit during its construction. The castle had the most up-to-date defences of the time. Round drum towers allowed archers a wide firing field, which created a killing zone where the fields of fire overlapped. Wider at the ground level, these towers, with their 5-metre thick walls, were deliberately designed to splay outwards, making it difficult for siege towers and battering rams to get close. Originally there were 4 corner towers joined by a narrow curtain wall, with half towers in the middle of each side. They had connecting passageways on the upper floors only, meaning each individual tower would have to be fought over and taken separately by any attackers. However, the barricade points and murder holes, which we'll see later in the video, that enabled the men to drop stones and fire arrows down on surprise invaders. The fight to the top would have been really difficult and very deadly. Roger Mortimer served Edward I and then Edward II. However, his ambition got the better of him, and he supported his nephew, who was another Roger Mortimer, who took up arms against the king. He was then thrown into the Tower of London and died there in 1326. Chirk Castle then regularly changed hands between some of the most important men of the age, including the Earls of Arundel, Cardinal Henry Beaufort, the Dukes of Somerset, Richard, Duke of Gloucester, who later became King Richard III, and Sir William Stanley.
See there's knife marks there.
Oh yes.
So they're sharpening the swords and the knives, axes, wherever.
Wow.
The marks here, I can see them. Where they're using the sharpen.
What's got the date?
That's where they've been running the blades up, probably knife blades.
So this must have been where it was rebuilt, this bit here. Would it be 60s?
Well, look at the brickwork. The brickwork's different.
It's different brickwork. fabulous views from these big doors. How old is this door, do you think?
Oh, good grief. It looks 13th, 14th century to me.
So, do you think it's an original to the castle?
Could be, it's very old. Look at the way that this has been done. It's all forged, it's hand forged. That's hand forged. You know, it's hard to tell. These are screwed on, but they could have been nailed on really.
Yes.
It's very old.
Sir Thomas Myddelton was born in 1550. He was son of a governor of Denbigh Castle. With little hope of inheriting his father's position, he left to make his fortune in London, which he did with remarkable success. His sources of wealth were varied and included sugar trading and investment in merchant companies which sought to exploit opportunities of global trade. Myddelton was one of the first investors in the East India Company in 1599. In 1595, Sir Thomas I had bought Chirk Castle from John, 2nd Earl of Leicester, for £5,000, which with the intention of turning it into his family seat. In fact, he spent more time in his home in Essex, but he spent vast sums of money on the castle, building the North Range and its slate rooms. In 1612, the castle passed on to his son, Sir Thomas Myddelton II, a Civil War general. I don't think you're going to see much down here, it's just really dark. Would it be in the dungeon? Right guys, I'm right in the dungeon down here. This is like the bowels of the castle. It's very dark, so you're not going to see anything. And this is how they would have seen it. And that little slit of light right above there is all the light they would have had in here. It's very dark. Tudor.
Well, the style of the doublet and his robe.
Yeah.
That's it, about that view. Hey, see that? That's a murder hole. These are murder holes.
Murder holes?
Yeah, you'd have poured, if somebody's coming through, you could have poured hot oil or whatever else, dropped stones on little slots in the floor. It's to protect the doorway. It's a lovely room.
It is a lovely room.
Oak door.
Yeah, it's a lovely oak door, isn't it? Another one of these.
See how thick that is? 2-inch thick oak door.
Look at the metal they've got.
The draw bolts on them. Amazing.
Another murder hole?
Yeah, looks like it. It was definitely built for defence, this place was.
Yes. Look at these rooms there, and that fireplace is rather nice.
Yeah. Yes, with that oak. That is an old door, that is.
That's fabulous, isn't it?
That is amazing. You'd have a job bashing your way through that thing.
You would.
All going to be jail. All my furniture is just being me doors.
Yes, the doors. Well, they are fabulous doors.
Oh, I'd like to have one of those in the house. Plasterwork.
What's that there? My word. I wasn't expecting that.
No, it's only a bit of plasterwork, isn't it?
Was that original from the date?
Yeah, well,
Or later?
it's pretty early stuff, that is. See the monkeys and hey, balls. Might tell me something about it here. It says this room contains the earliest remaining interior decoration of the castle, dated to the early 17th century. It's the only decorative scheme that predates the Civil War. It says the name of the room may refer to the plaster figures above the fireplace assumed to represent justice, but the extent to which the room was used as a courtroom is uncertain. It was a court.
It's a court.
Yeah, the court, it was a court. This is where they hold judgment.
That's fantastic. So, decorative work from the 1600s.
Yes, obviously that was bad. I reckon they're going to restore this piece here.
Probably.
So it's pre-Civil War, so pre-1640.
Yes.
So it must go back to the 1500s maybe?
Yes. Thomas Myddelton II was first on the side of Parliament and later disillusioned by Cromwell's military dictatorship as a royalist in support of Charles II.
Leather boots from the Civil War. Yeah, it tells you. And these leather, these big jugs, blackjacks they call them.
Oh yes, we have blackjacks in the other one.
Yeah, they got small ones, but these are big ones.
These are big blackjacks. The Myddelton family owned the castle for over 400 years. In the state rooms you can see how changing tastes and fashions over the years are represented. From 1911 to 1946, influential tenants Lord and Lady Howard Walden left their mark on the castle. Back to my love of stately homes' ceilings.
See that panel?
Yeah.
The panels come out of that one.
Oh yes.
Obviously repair.
Yeah, a bit of restoration, but again, beautiful ceilings and really old tapestries.
See how they've started to clean it?
Yeah.
Smoke damages it.
Oh yeah, you love your Knoll sofas, don't you?
Isn't it no?
Is it not Knoll?
No, it's solid one.
Nice.
Well, I still like it because
Yes.
keeps you from the wall, doesn't it?
It does.
This is beautiful.
I wonder.
It looks like so
Oh, you
silly.
can. Is this pigeons working?
Yes, well, I think it's from another part it's from another house.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so when it was all done up, they used to be
Oh, I'd have this at home.
Oh yes, this is what I call the sofa.
Yes. Is this your kind of sofa?
It's very comfy.
Oh, that looks really comfortable, that chair. I have to try that one. I want to try this one.
This is my chair.
Your chair?
Yeah.
Let's
What
try
one?
this one.
We get a lottery win.
Oh, yes. Oh, nice.
It is.
Yes, these are very nice as well.
They're
Yes.
It's like this.
Yes, we like these chairs.
Yeah.
The first garden at Chirk Castle was built in the early 17th century by Sir Thomas Myddelton II. This was swept away in the 1760s by the landscaping work of William Eames, who was a contemporary of Capability Brown. Perhaps the most influential person on the current garden was Lady Margaret Myddelton, who saved the garden from neglect after the Second World War. So what does that mean?
A blind one and a shy one. I imagine it probably just means like
She's
you
blind.
can't be shy about what you don't see.
So she's
So what
blind.
you don't see doesn't bother you.
And this one isn't. It'll probably tell us over here.
At the same time, one's standing on wood, the other's standing on thorns.
Yes.
So
Yeah, she's on thorns.
also very short.
What does it say about them? The nymphs. That's what they are. They are nymphs.
Yeah.
There's 4 bronze nymphs in the garden by a sculptor called Andrea Carlo Lucchesi, or whatever how you pronounce it.
Whereabouts you're from? Lucchesi.
Okay. I apologise for my interpretation. He trained and worked predominantly in London and was an exponent of the naturalistic and symbolist new sculpture style. New sculpture styles specialising in the female nude. Lord and Lady Howard de Walden, who leased the castle from the Myddelton family in 1911 to 1946, brought the statues to Chirk Castle from their London home. Rather nice. So they actually stood in the dining room first then, and then were moved here.
Statues are titled Destiny on the left of the steps, Vanishing Dream right at the steps, Oblivion by the pond, and Flower of Fancy at the end of the main path.
There's been a working estate for as long as there has been a castle. At its largest, covering over 10,000 acres, the estate is a site of special scientific interest for veteran trees, deadwood invertebrates, bats and grassland fungi. There are 3 main estate walks offering great views, calm and tranquil woodland and traditional working parkland. The award-winning gardens cover 5.5 acres of manicured lawns, clipped yews, herbaceous borders, beautiful roses, shrubs and rock gardens. Gosh, I do love yew trees. They've just got fabulous way to them. Just look at the shape of this one. The parkland was originally laid out as a deer park in the 14th century before it had its overhaul as a formal garden in the 17th century. There were kitchen gardens in the 17th century to the castle, probably on the eastern side. The gardens continued to develop after the English Civil War, including the construction of an outer courtyard to the north, surrounded by stone walls with a wrought iron gateway. By 1719, the courtyard had been turfed over and the gates replaced by a magnificent set of wrought iron gates and a gate screen made by Robert and John Davies of Bersham. From up here are just fantastic.
It really is. Mountains and hills and stuff you can see in the distance.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's the only one we have.
It's a nice little stumpery. It's not as big as others I've seen, but this is quite cute. I like the gate at the bottom.
It has a sort of fantasy element to it.
Yeah.
Like you'll open the door and find yourself in another realm. If you can survive all the horseflies.
Yes.
Like all 5,000 of them.
Yes, it's such a popular thing now, stumperies. They're sort of from, I think, the Victorian times onwards, really. Right, so we're thinking this is part of Offa's Dyke, because Offa's Dyke is on part of it's on the land here. And what is Offa's Dyke?
It's a land boundary between Wales and England. They reckon there was a big fence, like a stockaded fortification, right along the border that King Offa built, basically. And this looks like it possibly could be so. You've got the ditch and the bank. It's nowhere like it used to be. It's over time, it's all washed away and filled in, but it very much looks like it.
So this is Anglo-Saxon, you say?
Early Anglo-Saxon.
Early Anglo-Saxon.
17th, 18th century dovecot.
Doesn't the former
A dovecot.
gone next to the castle before being moved to this location? It was moved.
So a 17th century dovecote was moved to here. Let's go down here, Xandar.
Why are they moving fire in the building? You're sleeping with a fella, you will.
So we're heading to the kitchen gardens. Oh, we can't go in, obviously, because that's...
No, that isn't the actual kitchen garden. This is the kitchen gardens.
Okay.
That's dyke.
Yeah, so we're on our way home now, and it's been a glorious day. We've enjoyed the day. We're a bit hot now.
Yes, very much so.
So we're waiting to get home now and have some tea. We had problems getting here, didn't we, with the traffic? But
Oh, horrendous.
the castle itself is an intact castle. It is a lovely castle, but we'll tell you more about that when we get back home in our little studio. So I'll see you then. Bye. Hi guys, we're back in my little studio, and Andy's joined me for this one.
I know, unusual.
It is that it's fantastic because it's it's totally complete, the castle is, which is a rarity, but we think they could have done a lot more with it.
Yes, a lot more really. It's a bit sparse in places, to be quite honest. I don't think they've made full use of the historic value of the place, to be quite honest. They could do with some historical interpreters there. Maybe one from the martial lord period, one for the Tudor Elizabethan period, and maybe one later period when the house, say, from the 30s or 20s. I think that'd bring it alive a bit more for the public. I do know they do reenactment events there, but I think it would bring it alive a bit more, a bit like some other places that have interpreters and use them. You know, it would. There's a lot of visitors there.
There is, and you sort of just go around and about, and you go in where you want to, don't you? And come out where you want to. You sort of left to your own devices, but there isn't. There's bits to read that tells you some history, but it really could do with a lot more interaction with the public.
Yeah. There was people there giving you volunteers, I assume, and they were all right. They were good, but it needs just a bit more. I think.
Yeah, let's dress everybody up. Let's have them in costume. Let's have them interact with people and do talks. Let's make that period of history something.
You've even got part of Offa's Dyke there.
Yeah.
We walked down the bottom of the castle down a little side road, and there's one of the only sections of Offa's Dyke. You could even have an early Saxon there explaining about Offa's Dyke.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of potential, I think.
I want to go in there and be wowed. I mean, the gardens were lovely. They've got lovely gardens, nice. And they've got lots of land attached, so you could actually walk for a long way if you want to do that. And so they were nice. They were nice to see. It was a good day out, and we enjoyed it, and it was, like I say, very hot.
Very good weather.
Yeah, and we just think it could do with these extra bits just to make it, make it more spectacular.
Pop.
Yeah, make it.
I think he, did get a whole lot more visitors.
Yeah.
If mind you, the girl that we saw, she said they were asking for ideas, weren't they?
Yes.
How to actually improve it. Well,
if you watch
Chirk
this,
Castle, that is a way
we're giving you
improve it.
We think you could improve it by, sort of having living history, essentially.
Yeah. You know, get some people dressed up
Yeah.
who know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that would really wow the visitors.
Yeah, that's just our input. I mean, obviously, you know, we're not detracting from a day out. It's a good day out, and I'm glad we went. But just these little things. So if you're watching, you know, just take note. Maybe, perhaps in the future, you could do something like that.
You do something like that.
Well, that's it for today. We've done our bit, said our bit, and we'll hopefully see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.